Hi, I'm Sean Myles. I'm an assistant professor in the Faculty of Agriculture at Dalhousie University, and I'm the Canada Research Chair in Agricultural Genetic Diversity. I'm answering a question from a student for DNA Day. What are the major roadblocks or challenges in your research to produce better apples? Well, that's an excellent question. You know, a lot of people might think that a lot of the roadblocks have to do with the genomics or the technology or the statistics and things like that. But those are relatively solvable problems. You know, we can push forward on that and make good progress there. Some of the main challenges that are associated with working with apples have to do with the biology of the tree. Apples are long-lived woody perennial fruit crops. That means they take a long time to grow. When you plant an apple seed in the ground, you have to wait 4 or maybe even 5 years, up to 6 or 7 years, before it's really producing mature fruit and it's mature. So if you're an apple breeder and you're trying to generate a new apple variety, of course it takes a very long time to breed an apple. Compare that to something like corn, where you put the seed in the ground and it grows up relatively quickly over the growing period to produce a mature plant at the end of the growing season. So within a couple of months you can have a mature plant. In apples, obviously, that's different. You have to go through many, many years. And so this, what we call the extended juvenile phase, so it's a juvenile for a long time. It's not an adult plant for a very long time. That makes working with apples really difficult and challenging because it makes it very expensive to grow the apple tree. And you need to wait a really long time before you get any good data from that tree to measure its traits. So in saying what are the major roadblocks and challenges, one of them for certain is definitely the long juvenile period of the apple tree. And the other major roadblocks and challenges really to doing this kind of research are having to do the everyday administrative work of running a laboratory. It does take up a lot of time to send the emails, to write the grants, to report on the grants, and to sit in the meetings and all that kind of stuff. If you didn't have to do any of that and you could focus exclusively on the research, you'd be able to get a lot more done. But unfortunately, that's not the way the world works, and we do have to do quite a bit of administrative work in order to keep the motor running. So keeping the motor running really ends up being one of the major roadblocks or challenges with our research. Thanks for the question.